Good morning. This is Tuesday, January 13th, 2015, reading from My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. Have you ever been alone with God? Mark 4:10. When he was alone with the 12, they asked of him his solitude with us. When God gets us alone by affliction, heartbreak, or temptation, by disappointment, sickness, or by thwarted affection, by a broken friendship or by a new friendship, when he gets us absolutely alone, and we are dumbfounded and cannot ask one question, then he begins to expound. Watch Jesus Christ's training of the 12. It was the disciples, not the crowd outside, who were perplexed. They constantly asked him questions, and he constantly expounded things to them, but they only understood after they had received the Holy Spirit, as he mentions, as Jesus talks about in John 14, verse 26. If you are going on with God, the only thing that is clear to you, and the only thing God intends to be clear, is the way he deals with your own soul. Your brother's sorrows and perplexities are an absolute confusion to you. We imagine we understand where the other person is until God gives us a dose of the plague of our own hearts. There are whole tracts of stubbornness and ignorance to be revealed by the Holy Spirit in each one of us, and it can only be done when Jesus gets us alone. Are we alone with him now? Or are we taken up with little fussy notions, fussy comradeships in God's service, fussy ideas about our bodies? Jesus can expound nothing until we get through all the noisy questions of the head and are alone with him. Reminds me of Psalms 46, I believe, where it says, "Be still and know that I am God." In our vernacular, we would say, hush, or be quiet, or even more strongly, shut up. That phrase is a four-letter word in our house because I can remember growing up those words being so harsh. Let me read from Psalms 46. This is a Good News translation. God is our shelter and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. So we will not be afraid, even if the earth is shaken and mountains fall into the ocean depths, even if the seas roar and rage and the hills are shaken by the violence. There is a river that brings joy to the city of God, to the sacred house of the Most High. God is in that city, and it will never be destroyed. At early dawn he will come to its aid. Nations are terrified, kingdoms are shaken, God thunders, and the earth dissolves. The Lord Almighty is with us, the God of Jacob is our refuge. Come and see what the Lord has done. See what amazing things he has done on the earth. He stops wars all over the world. He breaks bows, destroys spears, and sets shields on fire. Stop fighting, he says, and know that I am God, supreme among the nations, supreme over the world. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. In the other translation, I believe it is, "Be still and know that I am God." I like that translation with the Good News. Stop fighting and know that I am God. Which reminds me of one more story from Watchman Nee in his book about Romans, The Normal Christian Life, where he and his fellow Bible students, or the Bible students that he worked with, were bathing out in the ocean, and one of the students got too far out and got caught by one of the waves and pulled under and was in the process of drowning. There was one expert swimmer among the group, and they all looked to him as a class, and he was standing up on a boulder or big rock on the shore, and he was just standing there watching this fellow, and they kept wanting the obvious to take place for this expert swimmer to go out and save this drowning man. And as the drowning man went down for the last time and did not come back up, the expert swimmer immediately dove in and rescued him and brought him in. Watchman Nee and the rest of the class were furious with the expert swimmer and said, "Why didn't you help him sooner?" And the expert swimmer said, "Until he quit fighting, I could not help him." This story is for me today, and it's for you. Are you struggling? Sometimes when I feel that I am being overwhelmed, it dawns on me, just as it would have for Peter had he had the time, that it is Jesus who allows us to walk on top of the water. It is also Jesus that would allow us to walk on the bottom of the lake, of the Sea of Galilee. He enables you to breathe the air about you. He will enable you to breathe His life in whatever your circumstance. So if you feel like you're sinking, go ahead. Sink into His arms. He's got you. Feel wrapped up in His love. Blessings today, whether you walk on top of the water or you walk on bottom. Thank you.